This episode of FineScale Modeler's new product rundown features Hasegawa's Sukhoi Su-35S Flanker, Trumpeter's IS-4, Special Hobbies 1/32 scale T-33, Tamiya's Toyota AB Phaeton, and Plus Models EC-121 Warning Star. Hi and welcome to another edition of FineScale Modeler's new product rundown. I'm Tim Kidwell.
I'm Aaron Skinner.
And today let's start things off with Hasegawa's 1/72 scale Su-35S Flanker.
Considered a fourth-generation plus fighter by the Russians, the Su-35 is a development of the original flanker, the Su-27.
Now, the 27 and the 35, they look similar. However, the 35 lacks the 27's canards, instead using thrust vectoring for maneuverability.
It also has a reduced radar signature, greater fuel capacity, improved radar and targeting systems, a glass cockpit, and fly-by-wire technology.
Molded in gray plastic, the parts have the fine engraved detail characteristic of Hasegawa's recent aircraft kits.
The upper and lower fuselage halves sandwich a simple yet effective cockpit that features a tub and panel with raised details and decal instruments.
There's also controls, a 5-part ejection seat with decal placards, a gun sight, and a pilot.
The intakes go all the way back to the fans with optional parts to show the auxiliary intakes open or closed.
Other options include the vectoring nozzles straight or down, raised or lowered canopy, and gear up or down. A stand is provided to show the aircraft in flight.
The Su-35 features 11 hardpoints, and Hasegawa provides a bunch of ordnance to fill them: bombs, rocket pods, and 5 different air-to-air missiles.
Decals provide markings for 2 Russian Air Force flankers, one in 4-color blue and gray camo, the other dark blue over light blue-gray.
All in all, this looks like a winner from Hasegawa. Lesser-known Soviet tanks seem to be the flavor of the month these days at Trumpeter. Their latest kit, the JS-4 or IS-4, sort of epitomizes that trend.
Designed in competition with the IS-3 and based on the IS-2, the IS-4 mounted a 122mm gun in the turret.
Poor performance sort of hampered the vehicle and led to the production's cancellation after just 200 of the vehicles were built. Most of those saw service in the Russian Far East.
Most of the kit's 518 plastic parts are the individual link tracks, which feature good detail front and back.
Top-notch molding extends to the other parts, including the upper hull and turret.
Both have sharp panel lines, weld seams, and casting texture.
The road wheel arms are keyed for alignment. The rest of the running gear and suspension looks terrific.
The turret hatches are separate, but there's no interior detail. Pioneer tools look good and have molded-on clasps.
So does the Dushka 12.7mm gun for the turret roof.
Photo-etched metal provides grills for the Panther-inspired engine cooling system intakes.
The kit features braided copper wire for the tow cables and a nice-looking turned metal barrel.
The single marking diagram shows an overall green IS-4 with a turret number.
The decals include additional numerals to make other numbers, as well as red stars and guards emblems.
Not widely known, but not a paper project either, it's great to see more kits like this hitting the market.
Moving on, we have a T-33A and 32nd scale from Special Hobby.
Based on Lockheed's P-80 Shooting Star, this 2-seat aircraft would become the U.S.'s first jet trainer.
More than 6,500 were built, and they served not only with the U.S. Air Force and Navy, but with nations around the world.
Typical of Special Hobby's offerings, most of the parts are injection molded in dark gray plastic.
Just as the real T-33 is descended from the P-80, the kit shares much with Special Hobby's 32nd scale F-80.
Those parts include the wings, horizontal stabilizers, and landing gear.
Among the new parts are the fuselage, fuel tanks, intakes, cockpit, and canopy.
Colored photo-etched metal provides the instrument panels, canopy rails, and rear canopy screen.
There's also a bunch of resin, ejection seats, wheels, pedals, some controls, vents, and other details.
Other features are detailed gear bays, extended speed brakes, intakes, and exhaust pipe.
This release is the T-33 over Europe, incorporating 5 marking options. There's an unusual U.S. Air Force T-33 in tactical camouflage with a shark mouth.
The other USAF bird included is light gray with bright red nose, tail, and wingtip tanks. 3 natural metal aircraft with bright orange or red trim round out the options.
Yeah, 1 each from France, the Netherlands, and Germany. This is a great looking package from Special Hobby.
He's excited. Up next, a pleasant surprise from Tamiya. It's their 1/35 scale Toyota Model AB Phaeton.
Now, there are a couple of car guys on the FSM staff, and even they didn't know what this was when it showed up.
Yeah, it turns out that this is the beginning of the line for Toyota's automotive manufacturing. In 1936, the Toyota Automatic Loom Works premiered 15 vehicles, including the AA and the AB models.
The AA and AB are similar, with the AB being a convertible.
Now, oh, I'm sorry, I'm walking all over you.
You are.
I'm sorry,
I was going to say that
going.
the streamlined design was reportedly inspired by contemporary American designs like the Chrysler Airflow.
Now see, what got me all excited there was he mentioned convertible, and the convertible version had a collapsible window and folding seats. Now you may be wondering, what is this doing in Tamiya's military miniatures line?
What is it doing in Tamiya's military miniatures?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Aaron. There were like about 350 of these manufactured, and the majority of them went to the Japanese military.
Like the Simca and Citroën cars that Tamiya has produced previously, this is a relatively simple kit, but that doesn't mean it lacks detail. The one-piece body and grille look terrific.
The one-part ladder frame joins the lower portion of the engine and the underside of the cab.
There are leaf springs, axles with brakes, and two-part plastic wheels and tires.
Inside, the model features front and rear bench seats and a pair of auxiliary seats that can be posed, stowed, or deployed.
The driver's position has pedals, handbrake and gear shift levers, and a dashboard with decal instruments.
There's a driver in Japanese Army fatigues.
Optional parts allow the top to be posed up or down. Decals provide Toyota logos for the hood ornament and hubcaps, as well as white pinstripes.
Surprise or not, Tamiya has given us another interesting kit of a neat subject.
Speaking of surprises, we have this really neat kit from Plus Model. The Czech company, better known for making detail sets, has given us a 1/72nd scale C-121 Warning Star.
The military version of Lockheed's Super Constellation, the C-121, was used as an early warning surveillance aircraft.
The prominent ventral and dorsal humps.
And you want to talk about putting a roof rack on a Ferrari.
Well, it's useful, but yeah, it doesn't really help the class or look of the thing, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, those humps contain radar units. In October 1967, a warning star directed a U.S. aircraft to intercept a North Vietnamese MiG-21 over the Tonkin Gulf. This marked the first time an airborne controller had directed a successful attack.
The major plastic in this kit is Heller's venerable but good Connie. That includes the fuselage, wings, tails, landing gear, and radar humps.
Plus Model provides resin replacements for the kit's less than perfect cowls. The latter are available separately if you want to replace the cowls on any Heller Lockheed 1049.
Photo-etched metal is used for the multiple antennas that festoon the fuselage.
Beautiful BOA agency printed decals supply markings for 4 aircraft, 2 U.S. Navy EC-121Ks, a U.S. Air Force EC-121Q, and a U.S. Air Force RC-121D. Most are brightly colored.
Plus Model has a couple of additional detail sets if you want to take the Connie a step further. There's a flap set that includes resin flaps and inserts for the wing, as well as photo-etched metal and details for the actuators.
The second set provides resin replacements for the tail control surfaces, rudders, and elevators.
The instructions indicate cutting the plastic parts off, then adding the others.
Finally, there's an extensive set to super detail the wheel wells, including resin, photo-etched metal, and decals.
Nice looking models and detail sets all around. Look for reviews of the T-33 and the Toyota in upcoming issues of FineScale Modeler magazine.
And you can see more of these and other new products in the October issue, on sale now.
Thanks for visiting FineScale.com. I'm Tim Kidwell.
I'm Aaron Skinner.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Because you're over there making noise. I don't know if you're laughing
pause,
or what.
Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause.
Two-seater, well, okay.
Shoot.